Okay, so I thought we would play the math game with me giving out the questions and pausing. You don't have to pause, but I'll pause so that you can work it out. So what we're going to do you know how we started? We've had a game before where we started out with a number, and then I gave you another number to do something with, to either add, subtract, multiply, or divide to that number or with that number, and we continued on until we got to a final answer. So we're going to do that. So if you want to get your mental math brain ready, we're going to begin with the number 16. So 16 is the number that we start with, and you're going to add 9. To that number, you're going to multiply by 4. Now, subtract 27. Now subtract 10. Divide that number by 9. Add 21. Multiply by 2. Divide that number by 4. Now subtract 6. Now add 8. Hopefully the number that you came up with was 16 again. We came back to the beginning. If you need to redo to see if you can get back to that number, pause and start the video again, or stop and start the video again and see what you come up with. Next week I'll have a couple more challenges for you to do, and I'll video them and you can work on them as we go. But I also sent a link to the Khan Academy videos for the decimals, and I just want you to work through those maybe 10 minutes at a time till you get to the end of that level, which I think is level 2. Just great review, great reminders, and they usually, I think they have a little quiz you can take, see how you're comprehending. If you have any trouble with any of those, just let me know. If they're you're not able to work on them, let me know in your email to me, and that way I know where we are and if I can keep going if we need to go back and review. So spend a few minutes doing that, and pause the video here, spend a few minutes doing that, and then come back. And I'm going to read a poem to you when you get back. So you should have, excuse me as I get the poem in front of me, a little bit easier. If you haven't already, there are 2 poems that I've sent for you to read, and they're both by Maya Angelou. I don't know why I have trouble saying her name. Maya Angelou. One is called Woman Work, and one is called Harlem Hopscotch. So pause the video, go back to the links, go ahead and watch or read through both of those videos, and then I asked you to sketch a detail of something from the poem. And so after you read it, you should have an impression, an image, something in your mind that comes up. So just do a quick sketch. You can make it colorful. You can just make it pencil and paper, however you want to do it. And then take a picture of it and send it as an attachment along with your email, just so I can see it. I was really liked hearing your suggestions and thoughts from the last time, from the last poetry and that we read. So I'm anxious to hear what you have to say on that. So pause the video, go ahead and read those, do your sketch, take a picture, attach it, and then come back and I'm going to read another poem to you. So this poem, it's called Psalm for the January Thaw, and it's by a lady named Lucy Shaw. Lucy Shaw was born in 1928, and she is a Christian poet and essayist. As we read it, even though it's not January and we've already had a thaw, now we're really into heavy spring. I want you to think about if you've experienced these kinds of things. I've never actually lived anywhere where it was frozen and cold for a long period of time to where we looked forward to a thaw. I've lived in Virginia where we had snow one year, which was exciting, but for the most part, I've lived in the South. So I do understand the images because she does a good job with word pictures, but I've never actually experienced that. So some of you may have. But so I'm going to go ahead and read the poem Psalm for the January Thaw. Blessed be God for thaw, for the clear drops that fall one by one, like clocks ticking from the icicles along the leaves. For shift and shrinkage, including the soggy gray mess on the deck like an abandoned mattress that had lost its inner spring. For the gurgle of gutters, for snow melting underfoot when I step off the porch. For slush, for the glisten on the sidewalk that only wets the foot sole and doesn't send me slithering. Everything is alert to this melting, the slow flow of it, the declaration of intent, the liquidation. Glory be to God for changes, for bulbs breaking the darkness with their green beaks, for moles and moths, and velvet green moss waiting to fill the driveway cracks, for the way the sun pierces the window minutes earlier each day, for earthquakes and tectonic plates Earth's bump and grind, and new mountains pushing up like teeth in a 1-year-old, for melodrama, lightning on the sky stage and the burst of applause that follows. Praise him for day and night and light switches by the door, for seasons, for cycles and bicycles, for whales and waterspouts, for watersheds and waterfalls and waking and the letter W, for the waxing and waning of weather so we never get complacent, for all the world and for all the way it twirls on its axis like an exotic dancer, for the North Pole and the South Pole and the equator and everything in between. Psalm for the January Thaw by Lucy Shaw. So there's a lot that we can relate to in there, and one of the things that I want you to do is write a psalm for something happening this month where you live, and not related to the coronavirus. Obviously related more to the changes in nature and the earth and the world around you in this changing time in April, end of March, April. I'm excited to read what you have for that. I also would love an update if you've read and one of the graphic novels. I'd love to hear an update on what you thought about it. I think like Abigail's reading Fahrenheit 461, 481. Oh my goodness, forgot the number. Anyway, 451. She's reading another one. Anyway, I love hearing her thoughts on those books. So if you are reading any of those books, Hidden Figures, that's the other one, then give me an update on what you think about them. I know we have a great diverse interests in our group, and so I like to hear what all of you have to say about the different books because it's varied. Not all of you agree, and that's fun. Have fun with the poems, have fun with writing your psalm, and I can't wait to read them.